Hey everyone, here is the joke for the day. So first one, when it's just regular old x, we're talking about the displacement, just the regular function or the position. And then the little boy says, hi there, velocity, because that's the first derivative. And then he says, how you doing, acceleration? And that is the second derivative. And then the third one, we just don't really have a name for it besides the third derivative, so it feels kind of left out. So that's where I think this is kind of funny, and it relates to what we're doing. So today is section 2.4, and we're talking about the chain rule. This is probably one of my favorite lessons. I love the chain rule, and it's very fun. So we're going to find the derivative of a composite function using the chain rule. We're going to find the derivative of a function using the general power rule. And then we're going to simplify the derivative using algebra. And then we're going to find the derivative of trigonometric functions using the chain rule. So right off the get-go, if we had three variables, a, b, and c, and a were to change 6 times faster than b, and b were to change 6 times faster than c, what is the relationship between a and c? Well, hopefully we're thinking that a is equal to 6 times b, and we're thinking that b is equal to 10 times c. Well, what I would have to do is plug this in for b, so a would be equal to like 60 times c. And the reason why we think of this is because you can't just always say it's just 6b when b actually means that it's 10 times faster than c. So we have to be able to define it in many different ways. So when we relate this to the chain rule, if we have a function y that is expressed in terms of u, and u is a function that is expressed in terms of x, then the derivative with respect to x would be the derivative of y with respect to u. And then we would also have to multiply by the derivative of u, except for this time it's with respect to x. And when we do that, hopefully you can see in this scenario, these du's have the potential to cancel out and give us just dy dx. So if you're given this example where y is equal to w cubed and w is equal to 4x plus 12, well, what we're going to end up here is that we need to take the derivative of y with respect to w, and then we're going to need to multiply it by the derivative of w with respect to x. So the derivative of y with respect to w would be 3w squared. Okay, and then now we need to take the derivative of w with respect to x. So w, if I were to want to define dw dx, this is going to be equal to 4, because the constant is just nothing. And then we have to multiply this by 4. So we're not quite done yet because we know what w is, and we need to plug that piece in. So if I highlight that in a different color, that's got to get plugged in way over here, because we knew that dy dw was equal to 3w squared. So when I rewrite this all out, I get 3 4x plus 12 squared times 4. And hopefully you're starting to see something here, or at least you can see it after I point it out. But if I were to just take the derivative of that inside, or the derivative of my w, and multiply it by the outside, that's what I'd be left with. So if I write this like right as we go, where this is actually just y equals w cubed, well, w is the same as 4x plus 12, and then that's cubed, and this is a composite function because it's got more than one thing happening here. For this, we're going to find the derivative of y, and we're going to use the chain rule when we look at it like this. So the chain rule for a composite function, if y is a function of w and w is a function of x, then f of g of x is going to be equal to f prime of g of x times g prime of x, which is really what we were already doing. We're taking the derivative of the big one with respect to x, and then we have to take the derivative of the little one on the inside with respect to x.